Hi guys! I had a great idea from a friend of mine, so thank you for the video suggestion, suggestion, video suggestion. And she recommended that I do a Lego making video with you guys while I talk about a certain topic. So as many of you guys may know, I'm currently on exchange at UT Austin, and I've been on exchange for the last 3 months. Technically 4 months. It's been a while since I've been in Austin in America, and there's a lot of things that I experienced coming from Korea that I don't really experience in Korea, kind of like a culture shock, I would say. Before I get on to my first point, I will attempt to make these cute Lego pods. I got this for free at a raffle event in UT Austin. So I'm gonna try to open this. This is called the Botanicals. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, I'm not sure if I can focus that much on building this while I'm talking, but I'll try my best. And hopefully my mic doesn't die while I'm doing this. But these are the first steps that I'll do. So, okay, I'll get on to the first point, and I would say for me, the biggest culture shock that I got, I mean not the biggest culture shock, the first thing I noticed, and something I've noticed even more these days, is that people open doors for you, and people obviously do open doors in Korea. I think it's a big stereotype that a lot of Koreans just like slam the door on you or just don't open the door for you because they're rushing to get somewhere, which can be true, but most of the time people in Korea do open doors for you. But I would say that in America, it's a more of a cultural thing to do, or like a necessary thing to do, to the point where people would open the door for like minutes, like for a long time, for multiple people to come through, and or just wait for you even if you're not close to the door. And that is something that I will probably never see, not never, it's not never, but rarely see in Korea. And it was quite a big culture shock to me in the beginning. Like, this is one, but I don't understand where the white block is. The reason why I'm saying this first point is because yesterday I was going to my class and I was in quite a hurry, and okay, it's not during my class, but after my class I went to the library to go study, and these two guys just opened the door, like both of them just opened the door for me, and I wasn't even close to the door. I was like 3 minutes away from the door, and both of them decided to open the door for me. And that was so sweet of them. Like, I was like, oh, that's really nice. And I found out they're not even friends. They don't even know each other. They weren't talking to each other. So I was like, this must be a cultural thing. And it's something that I would probably not see in Korea. And I don't know, it just kind of shocked me in that way. So I would say that's the first cultural shock I got, comparing American and Korean culture. I really can't find this block. How am I gonna start this Lego thing if I can't find the white block? I had the wrong bag the whole time. Okay, second thing is, I don't know if this is just a UT Austin thing. Like, in my dorm, there's like free sanitary products and other products as well, if you know what I'm talking about. And that was a huge culture shock to me, because in Korea, like, you would never see free sanitary products or like any other products like that in the dorms. Because I also lived in Korean dorms at a Korean university, and they don't have free products or free things like that. So that was quite shocking to me. But I think it's quite good, and I like that people don't actually steal that much of it. I don't know, maybe they do, but in my dorm it doesn't, or in my floor at least, people don't seem like they would steal things. So I think that it's a great system to have that. Third thing is, I think one of the biggest thing, the difference between like Korean and American culture for me, is small talk. Small talk is really not a thing in Korea. unless you're like super extroverted and you just like talking to other people, but most people in Korea would just give you a weird stare if you start talking to them randomly. But here, it's a lot more normalized, and people have come up to me all the time just asking me like about my life, where I'm from. And you guys know I have a more introverted personality, but I do like when people talk to me. And I don't know, I do like that culture in a sense. And I noticed this more during like my hiking trips. I noticed that people talk to me like while they're hiking up. I don't know, like in Korea, like most of the people like going hiking will probably just like stare at you or give you like maybe like a grunt or something, but like they don't really talk to you or say like, oh, what's up there, or when you go up there's a beautiful view, or like things like that. They won't really say things like that. So I guess that is another culture shock. I think this is also like another thing that I noticed when I started to make American friends, is that whenever I got close to an American friend and they invited me to their place, and this has only happened like one or two times, and I go to their house, and also like just meeting your friend's family is not a common thing in Korea. Yeah, it's really not a common thing unless you're like childhood friends, or like you're planning to get married to someone like that. It's not really a common thing, but it seems like here, I might be wrong, like I'm totally just generalizing, but it seems like it's a lot more normalized to just meet your friend's family, even if you haven't met for that long or you're not that close. So that was quite interesting to me. And another interesting thing with this aspect is like calling their parents, like your friend's parents, their first name. Like for example, I met my friend's mom and they told me to refer to them as their first name. And that was quite interesting to me as well, because like in Korea, if you met like your friend's mom or something, you would just call them your friend's name and their mom. Like you wouldn't refer to them as their name. But yeah, here it seems like it's not the case, so I found that extremely interesting as well. I was just helping someone open the door over there, so I just came back. But anyways, so that is the fourth thing that I noticed about cultural differences here compared to Korea. The fifth thing I would say is the gaps between the bathroom doors, like the not just the gap like beneath like where your foot is, but also the gaps on the side. Like you can kind of see who's in there if you like looked carefully through the bathroom door side, and that kind of made me very uncomfortable in the beginning, but I did get used to it. But especially like in Korea and Japan, you would never see bathroom doors like that, so I thought that was quite interesting. Maybe I should research why bathroom doors are designed that way. If you guys have any ideas, you can leave it or let me know. I'm kind of interested about that. Okay, the sixth thing I would say is like windows. Don't the only function of windows, or this is just my dorm, but the only functions of windows is they either just open fully or close fully. Like you can't, how do I say, like side open the door, so that, I mean side open the window so like only a little bit of air comes out. You have to open it completely or completely close it. And I know this is not the case for like all windows in America, but I just see it in my dorm, and there's no like screens either, so I thought that was kind of not a culture shock, just more like an interesting thing that I noticed in my dorm. Okay, the seventh thing I would say is people hugging. Like, for example, when you're meeting someone for the first time, it's completely normal to hug people here. But especially in Korea, it's not a common thing at all, and people would definitely think you're weird if you did that. But in America, or at least like here, people are friendly enough, or it's more normalized to do that with people you haven't even met. Or when you're saying goodbye, you hug people, and hugging seems like a big culture here. And I do like that part, you know. I do like hugging people, but not all everyone, obviously. Like, especially people I don't really know. And it's also because like my love language isn't physical touch. Also, I didn't put this in my list, but another thing is like people ask me what my love language is, and that's not a thing in Korea that much. So I actually have to I did a quiz to figure out what my love language was, so I can figure out what to answer to people if they ever ask me about that. But anyways, that's a little off topic, but because physical touch isn't really my love language, I mean, I like hugging, but just not everyone, I guess. So I have like mixed opinions about whether I'm comfortable with that or I like that, but for the most part, I do like hugging people, and I'm completely okay if people come up to hug me. I'm not saying that you should if you see me, but I'm okay with that, and it is part of the culture that I do see here, so yeah. Anyways, this is my progress. Hopefully I'm doing it correctly. Okay, the eighth thing I wrote is that I noticed that people like studying in the grass area. Like when I go outside and I see the field area, there's a lot of people just sitting there and doing their work. And doing their work like very doing their work, or like outside on the benches, outside in the sun. And I see a lot of people just working hard and doing their projects, doing their group work, doing individual work. And it's very interesting to me because when I go outside in my university in Korea, no one sits outside or no one really studies outside that much. Like there's definitely people who do, but it's really not a thing here. So yeah, that is another thing that I noticed, that a lot of people choose to study outside in the grass, and you know, I never tried that until I came here, and I really like it. I really like having the breeze going through your face. Like, I don't know how to describe that in a less weird way, but I do like that feeling and the sun hitting you. And when the weather's really nice, it's such a great feeling to go study outside. So I do like that aspect of UT Austin at least. So I guess that is another culture shock about that. So going into that, I would say the ninth thing that I noticed that is quite different from Korea is, okay, this is not a big thing, but I've noticed that like when people have like picnic blankets, people don't really take off their shoes. And it's kind of a similar thing when you go to a friend's house, like an American friend's house, and you don't take off your shoes. But I've noticed that like a lot of my American friends actually do take off their shoes, so I don't know if that's like a big culture shock anymore, but I think a culture shock for me was people not taking off their shoes before going on a picnic blanket. And I started to do that too, so maybe it's not a big culture shock, but it was quite interesting to me because in Korea people usually do take off their shoes before they put their feet on the picnic blanket. But I'm sure this is completely different for everyone. I just noticed like generally people don't take off their shoes before they put their feet on the blanket. Okay, the 10th thing I would say, this is not really a culture shock. This is more of a thing that I observed when people talk to me and when they're curious about Korea, or if they like people who've never been to Korea ask me about Korea. Most people bring up like the Korean beauty standards or the K-pop idol standards or things like that, and I always thought that was quite interesting that that is the first thing they talk to me about. And I realized that it must be a really big thing on mainstream media, like about Korean beauty standards, and it's kind of interesting how it progressed into the Western world in that way. And it is a question that people ask me about, like they ask me about my opinions about Korean beauty standards and what I feel about it and how I feel like I fit in or not and things like that. So I thought it was quite interesting that a lot of people bring up that topic to me. So that is one thing that I noticed ever since I came here, and people are curious about my culture. So yeah, I would say that that's another thing that I've noticed ever since I came here. This kind of looks like an elephant. I don't know if I'm doing this correctly. This is gonna take me a while. I don't know if I can finish this in one video. Maybe I'll make another video like this. Okay, the 11th thing I just personally added, I think this is like a sunny culture thing. My friend made fun of me for this. But I went to my friend's house and I didn't want to take a shower, so instead of taking a shower, I usually just wash my feet. Because in my head, I feel like washing my feet is something I should do before I sleep, even if I don't wash my hair or my body. And I've been doing that since I was a kid. And some of my friends made fun of me for that because they were like, why are you doing that if you're not gonna wash yourself anyways? And I was just like, why not? Like, it's something I've done since I was a kid. So yeah, I guess some people find that weird, but I do that too. So yeah, let me know if you also do that. Like, I do that all the time. Okay, the 12th thing, and this is something that people will probably think I would say in this video, but it's definitely the tipping culture. So living in Korea, like the tipping culture is not a thing like many of you guys may know. So when I first came here, I really didn't know how much to tip, like whether it's 12%, 15%, 20%, and I wasn't sure. Okay, another thing is like when you go to a restaurant, you usually have one server, and that's not a thing in Korea. Like when you go to a Korean restaurant, you just call any server, but in America, you usually have one server that's taking orders just from you. So I thought that was another culture shock that I had. And also, like when you give someone a tip, like when you write down your tip on the receipt and they take your card away, I thought that was quite interesting as well. And at first, like I had a sense of like anxiety a little bit. I was like, where's my card going? Like they're taking my card away. That's like how I felt in the beginning, but yeah, I did get used to it. And I also thought that it was interesting that your tip came after the total bill in your like bank statements. Like I don't know if that's just like my card that does that, because at the time I was using a Korean card, so maybe that's the reason why, but I thought that was quite interesting as well. Where is the other piece to this? Okay guys, I am definitely not going to finish this in time, but this is all that I made so far. So this is supposed to be this guy. So you see the resemblance? But unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish this Lego set in this video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video anyways. And just as a disclaimer, this video is definitely like super generalized. I lived most of my life in Austin, Texas, and the culture here is definitely different than other states. So whatever I say here might be completely different in other states, and my culture shocks that I describe in this video definitely does not pertain to every other state or people in general. Like, of course, more people are, and of course, like people are so diverse here and have different values and personalities. So this is just a super generalization of everything I said. So if you take any offense to anything I said, it was not my intention at all, and I will take down this video if you do feel that way in any way. It's not the intention of this video at all. I just wanted to share a piece of my life with you guys and just share with you guys how I felt about a part of how I felt about my experience in America for the first time during my exchange series coming from a Korean university. So that was just the main purpose of this video. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are healthy. And if you guys are in school, good luck with your studies. Our finals are coming up soon, so I hope that everyone does well. And I'll see you in the next video if you do watch it. And if you don't, then that's okay as well. Okay, bye guys.